Come. Mr. Bal. For many, many years and made some wonderful films. So we are looking forward to your lecture and views or conversation, whatever you feel. And with reception. Felicitation from Kiff. And to your surprise, I love that.
You see, Gautam said Balki needs no introduction. And it's indeed true because a lot of you are fans of his and have come here specifically to read me why in these kind of South Indian names, only the Krishna at the end gets abbreviated to Ki. Because Ramakrishnan becomes Ramki, Balakrishnan becomes Balki, cinema. And I'm sure all of you have seen his films. How many of you have seen Chini Kam? Can you see the hands? Several times. Yeah, it is a film that inspired me not only to reduce my chini intake, but give it up altogether in coffee and tea. You see, so since then I have not been taking chini with my coffee and tea. And of course he gave us more films like Pa, Ki and Ka, Padman, etc. And just like in his advertising world and as a copywriter would do, the title of his lecture, like his films, is a little hatke. Yeah? His films are a little hatke from the mainstream. And his title, which he told us what he wants to speak about, is I Want to Die Before Cinema Does. Sounds more like a last wish or part of a will written at some point of time, but very interesting nevertheless, because if you have that kind of passion for cinema, only would you make a statement like this, right? So let's listen to Balki for the next, I don't know for how long, half an hour, 45 minutes, or as long as you want to talk. And you will be leaving the audience with a feeling of Ye Dil Mange More. So please do hold them spellbound with whatever you have to say. Then we will have a little chat about what you have talked. Is that okay with you? Right. The microphone is all yours.
Let me see this. Thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor to be here, to be at the Kolkata Film Festival and at this prestigious lecture. In fact, any lecture which has got the title of Ray, I think it's fabulous to be just standing on the same podium with the name of that lecture on around you. So I just wanted to chat to share my thoughts about something that's troubling all of us. That's kind of that's been in my mind the last 3-4 years. It's really it never struck. It has still not struck me because I'm more worried about the mortality of something else than myself right now, which is actually cinema. Because I don't think there's a purpose for me to live without cinema, because we dreamt, all of us, many of us dreamt and said that this is what we want to do in life. We want to make films, we want to watch films, we want to kind of do things like that. But when cinema itself is struggling to figure out how to live, then it's very funny when your dream is struggling. You know, it's okay to struggle. You know, we've all struggled in our lives about making films, how to make films, how to get our scripts through, how to kind of get the money for our films. But we've never faced a situation where our dreams are in danger, where the dream itself is in danger. So I And I've been thinking a lot about it. Sometimes it's depressing, sometimes it's really energizing, because there's never been a problem like that. You know, we've always tackled about how to make better films or good films, how to push this one right, how's our market, how to improve our audience, how to educate our audience. All kinds of stuff we've spoken about, we've interacted with this. I can't imagine, I think Ray was very, very lucky that he never had to think of this, you know, because that was the dream, and it was all about cinema and its purity. And those are the times we just believed that cinema was eternal. It would never, never kind of go. But today, it's pretty, you know, I don't know whether it's depressing or what, but it's pretty clear that things are happening out there which may not be in our control anymore. And one of the few things, and this is an article I read somewhere, you know, what's the biggest competition for cinema? What is it? Obviously, it is obviously what you call the reels, the kind of, the phone is your biggest kind of thing. What they call distraction is possibly the biggest kind of thing for cinema. It's quite apparent. Lots of articles have been written about how people are distracted, just 15 seconds and everything else. Distraction has a very simple kind of a thing. It kind of ups your dopamine content. And dopamine is a kind of, it is addictive, so you want more stimulus, and you go back again, flip, distract, go back again. It's like an addiction. So actually addiction of a very different kind is your biggest competition for what we all kind of look up to. And it's not just that, it's just that today, because your mediums have changed, because there is so much of content, all of us know that we've got a surplus of content, we don't even know. There's a surplus of content, but there's not a surplus of good content. It's very difficult to find something great to watch in any of those million kind of things that are hitting you every day. But even then, there is so much. So, another very big challenge of all creative people and all filmmakers, both directors, producers, writers, is how do you tell people that you've made a film? It's damn difficult to make people even aware you've kind of done a film, because there's so much of information coming at them. So forget making a film. I always tell people today, and it's true of advertising too, and it's true of film, how are you going to even communicate? Yes, if you have huge marketing budgets, or if people are waiting for something like Pushpa 2 or something like that, then you can imagine everybody is waiting for something. That's very, very rare. There aren't many events like that which are happening there. Most of our films, you have to reach people. You have to tell people that there's something like this here. It's not people are rejecting anything. People don't know. A lot of films, you'll be very surprised. You may have seen it because you're film lovers, a bunch of people who are listening to a lecture of this sort. But a lot of people out there who are actually film lovers don't even know a film is coming. That's one of those things. Because the kind of scenario out there, in there, what we have done with cinema. I'll tell you what we've done in cinema. In this rush, I think there is this subconscious feeling in most kind of filmmakers that most in the industry overall, that cinema is in danger. It's like almost like let's run. It's almost like survival of the fittest. Like let's make the bucks really fast. Let's kind of do everything really fast. And in the process, what's happened is everything has been corrupted. You know, every damn stuff, from the media to the publicity to the personnel, everything is actually out there. Everything has been bartered, everything has been picked up, everything has kind of been, you know, who's going to pump up the maximum money, who's going to pay the maximum people to kind of write about your film, who's going to, today media is not about just putting an ad out in somewhere else or kind of having a poster of yours kind of put for free in many places. Everything you got to pay for. And everybody's kind of latching onto it because this money may not be coming very, very soon. So everybody's trying to make the buck as fast as possible. A lot of people have their own private media today, and they're called influencers or the trade. They all have their private media channel, which is their account, which is their Twitter, Instagram, whatever stuff that they use on, that's their account. So they are legitimately become media channels. Remember, so they're all behaving like media used to behave. A newspaper charges me for an ad. Why shouldn't I charge you to put a post of a film? So today, if I want somebody to talk about my film, and the industry people, I've got to say, okay, he's got a rate card and saying, this is what I charge for a kind of a post. So while the footfalls in theatres are decreasing, the money to kind of even make a film be heard is a lot more. So we're facing a lot of issues. And the kind of diseases that are hitting cinema are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hell of a lot. And then what's happening? It's also that, you know, another simple thing. What has happened today is you wouldn't believe it, but a lot of actors and stars, the opportunities that are there, you know, people are kind of throwing, there's a lot more money, the people are making a lot more money simply because just a known face somewhere guarantees some viewing. Somebody says, oh, I recognize this person, I know this actor, I want to watch this particular film. It's become, you know, anything, as desperate as you can. Okay, I don't mind paying this person double as long as this person is there in the film, so it becomes a known face to kind of thing. It becomes a brand for the particular film or the content. So just look at how much you're weighing something that's already fighting with distraction of the audience with all this. And then, to me, actually the biggest danger of cinema are some of the films that actually do well. You know, is actually the biggest danger of cinema. I'm not talking of good cinema, bad cinema. I'm just talking of cinema. I'm talking of some of the hits, if you see this in the last couple of years, some of the real big blockbusters. I'm not talking of, I think Bahubali 2 was the last fantastic blockbuster which all of us enjoyed and kind of jumped in the theaters like children and kind of whistled. After that, if you see all these mega blockbusters, they are really, I mean, most of them, and I don't even think one which is not, but most of them I can say, there would be one or two which may be better, but most of them are really garbage. And they have been, and if people try and make that a science, you know, people try and make garbage a science and say, no, this is what the audience wants. Rubbish, the audience wants that. If you give them a slightly more interesting film, the audience is not going to cry. Yeah. The audience is going to clap louder. They've already come in by the marketing hype and the amount of pumping in that's happening to bring those people into the theatre. And then they go out okay, having watched a film, but they don't go out with more love for cinema. They're not eager to watch another film. They are actually tired. And you know, sometimes we as human beings are very normal people, all of us. We always make, hey, so many people, there's so much hava, people, it's making so much money, it must be good, no? Somewhere, maybe I was tired, maybe it was like this, maybe it was this. You tell yourself a lot of things to not outright, most people are not contrarians in the world. They don't go against mass, sentiment, which is good. Sentiment is also propagated, it's not the real sentiment, it's a propagated sentiment. Now, if you don't go against that stuff, you end up watching a film and the film making money, but you not really an audience ready and waiting and eager to go for the next film that's coming. Good cinema makes you actually wait for the next film to kind of come. When Bahubali came, we all went, it's the biggest grosser. It actually upped the interest in cinema. Yeah, I want to say, it's a blockbuster, it's an entertainer, it's not one of those meaningful artistic kind of films. It is a blockbuster, I'm still talking of those things. You know, but we went to kind of, the whole public and the masses ran to kind of theatres again. And ran to theatres is just like almost, you know, you feel like food when it comes back. Ate somewhere, I feel like eating this food. You start falling in love with that food all over again if you've kind of been distracted with that. So that's how it happens. So if people tell us today that, hey, these films are doing damn well, why is it not, why are we saying cinema is dying? No, these films are not doing some damn well. There are 4 or 5 of them that's making a lot of money, but they're not making a lot of sense in terms of bringing people to the theatres. You know, I think that is the purpose of cinema. We all talk of climate change. You know, we talk of every business today in the country, whether you make soaps, whether you make anything else, every company, CEO and everything is responsible for climate change. You have to be sustainable. Your processes have to be damn good. Why is cinema, any different? Isn't cinema also responsible for the climate of cinema kind of being preserved? Why do we define climate change as using wood or, recycled wood in our sets? That's all we define as climate change. Our climate is cinema. And our cinema is not improving our climate. Climate of cinema. So cinema is suffocating. So today, if you actually see the interest in people to go to cinema, you can actually decide. Say, for example, Pushpa has come yesterday. You may have heard it's made 200 crores or some 250 crores. All kinds of figures floated around, but it's the biggest blockbuster. Now, am I waiting? What's Pushpa has kind of rejuvenated my interest in cinema. Can I kind of see the next kind of film? I'm not even talking of the content and and what it is, whether it's regressive, progressive, all that stuff. I'm not getting into that argument. I'm just talking of excitement of cinema, the magic of cinema. Cinema is magic in some way. It's got to kind of raise films had magic in a different way. Bahubali had magic in different ways. A lot of other films have magic. Bachchan had magic in very different ways, but they're all magic. It makes me want to taste that again. So